Hi, I'm Nicole Isbel. I'm a nephrologist from the Princess Alexandra Hospital in Brisbane, Australia. And we're very excited that the TTS is coming to Sydney this year. I'm the president of the Transplant Society of Australia and New Zealand, and I've had a role on the local organising committee and the TTS executive in planning the meeting, which I've really enjoyed. I've got to meet some fantastic people and work with some fantastic people to put together what I think is an amazing program, which balances across innovative science, updates for clinicians, and support for young and early career researchers and clinicians. So I think it's a wonderful balance and a great opportunity. I don't know how they managed to get all of that into one program, but the preliminary program looks absolutely fascinating and great. So, and the other great thing about having it in Australia, I think, is for two reasons. One is that having a meeting in Asia Pacific is really special. The Pacific, we're a long way from everywhere, and that's both for you guys to come, but also for us to come to you. So it's a wonderful opportunity for our local scientists and clinicians to really have an opportunity, not just to see people present amazing science and updates, but to interact with them. So I think that that's a fabulous opportunity for our region, both Australia and New Zealand, and the countries that are our neighbours. So I'm very excited by that component in particular. I was very excited when Sydney won the bid. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us.
From your perspective as being the president of TSANZ, TSANZ has been a core partner of TTS for over 20 years, and it was our first affiliate society and probably the most dedicated society that TTS has been associated long run. So we have all come to our meetings in long numbers, and we are really happy to come to Australia. So can you talk a little bit about the strength of Australia's transplant programs, especially its contributions in kidney transplantation, immunology, and other domains? We had spoken with Peter McDonald yesterday, and it was a great conversation about heart transplant and about creating a stage for Australian investigators and trainees, a global stage, which is very important.
Yeah, I think Australia, like back from history, has had some fabulous immunologists in particular. We sort of kind of acknowledge these in some of the prizes that we give out, the Mackenzie Prize, etc. That really reflect the depth of commitment to transplantation in Australia. I think both across all levels. I think through the immunology has been strong across the decades, but we also have wonderful resources in terms of data that are continuing to improve, particularly in the kidney transplant space. We've had a wonderful registry for more than 40 years now. That has been great. I think emerging science has been particularly strong. There's a lot of early work on xenotransplantation done here, which contributed, I think, greatly to the field. But to get back to your first point about the collaboration with TTS, I think geography has a role here. I mean, we know that we need to collaborate and to interact with people around the world to keep feeding back into the strength of Australian transplant science. I think there's been a recognition very early on in people's careers that we really need to have that to feed both ways, people to get support, innovation in terms of their ideas, and to take some of their ideas to the bigger stage, which I think is also important. I'd also like to recognise the work. I mean, there's so much work that gets done by so many people. I think Jeremy Chapman and Jermaine Wong and the Transplantation Journal has been a fabulous asset for Australia. It shows that people from countries that are smaller like Australia can publish their work for a world stage, and Jermaine in particular has been strong in mentoring women to step up and to have confidence to get out there and demonstrate their skills and to publish their work. So I think that's been a great strength in Australia. I think we're a small community that we support each other. You know, we have our bits and bobs, but we're mainly a fairly supportive, small society that works hard, I think, to try and both contribute, but also to get back from that contribution in enriching our own transplant programs by what we learn.
So you have actually mentioned Ian McKenzie, Anthony Tappies, Jeremy Chapman, Phil O'Connell, and Jermaine Wong, who have been instrumental in mentoring people to come into the fields of transplantation. It is really hard to attract the brightest minds and also to keep them within the field. What do you think is the importance of mentorship in transplantation?
Oh, super, super important. So we have meetings with each of our advisory committees, and the thing that comes up again, there are several things that come up, but one important thing that comes up is workforce and sustainability of workforce. And I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. And I mean, there are obvious things that government and hospitals can do, but what a society like ours can do is create culture, a culture of learning and enthusiasm, and I think that is something that we've always done well, but we can continue to try and work on that. And I'd like to just give a call out to the session that the TSANZ is putting on in the pre-con component called the Shark Tank, which is a new idea for us. We really hope that it's a great success. But what this is a pitch for our young scientists to come up with any of their ideas, crazy, not crazy, to get them out there and pitch them to some experts who we're just in the process of collating our panel of experts to try and kind of promote that enthusiasm and excitement about new and novel and exciting ideas. So I'm absolutely looking forward to that session in particular. So I hope that kind of embodies where we're trying to go with creating that culture in Australia of kind of excitement in learning and doing new things.
Oh, great. I think Shark Tank sounds like a really good idea, and it'll be really interesting for all of us to attend it in TTS 2026. We look forward to it. And overall, in terms of supporting early career clinicians and for researchers, this would be really good for both local as well as international researchers. Australia has been really good at sending out their fellows out through the world to learn and bring the expertise back to Australia. What would you say to people who have come to Australia? What young researchers, what can they benefit from this meeting?
Uh, Again, I think forming collaborations with their peers is really important, and seeing how things are done in different places and how what structures are like. We are also very, very apt to welcome people to come to Australia for various fellowships. And I would hope that they take the opportunity to discuss with some of the big research groups here and to see what kind of exchange is available for that. So yes, I think it is a really important point and something that we're sort of still trying to think on, that we are, as you say, sending people out, and we try and sponsor people to go out. And I think it would be something to take a legacy from this meeting, really, is that if we can start thinking and talking about ways, to then support people coming into Australia to see what we do here and what they can learn from some of the people who do such great work here. And have such great, kind of innovative ideas that I think would be very helpful to collaborate with.
So speaking about continuing about TTS 2026, we know that the abstract deadline is on March 19th. And what are the abstracts are you keen on seeing being submitted to the meeting? What are the areas you'll be most interested in?
I live in Queensland, and it doesn't look like it today, but it's very sunny here, and we have a lot of issues with cancer, skin cancer in particular. So I'll be looking out from like my clinical hat side of things to see what everyone else around the world is doing in the field of some of the complications of immunosuppression. I've got a keen interest on pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics, and so some of that work will be of interest to me. It will be hard to select what to go to because I think there's a lot of emerging therapies. We've been involved in some of the delayed graft function trials with some of the new therapeutics. So I'll be interested to talk to some of the industry partners as well about where those trials are going and how they're playing out. So yes, and at a basic science level, I've been interested in complement, and so I think complement's having its day in the sun for both of the delayed graft function work and also some of the issues around recurrence of primary disease in transplants as well, which is another niche, small area, but important for those patients that are impacted by that. The other big focus of this meeting is infectious diseases, and I'm hoping to get as much of the pre-con sessions on infectious diseases as I can. Again, I think the way that some of the programs were put together to put about what are the emerging issues in infectious diseases, like what will xenotransplantation bring in terms of those sort of complications. And I see that Olivia Smith's presenting about microbiome in the donor. I hadn't even thought of that as a concept, so I'm super looking forward to hearing her talk, which I think is one of the final plenaries. So what a great idea. I'm just really interested to hear where she's going with that. So I think that there's so much, it's going to be really difficult to find it. And we are encouraging as broadly as we can for Australians and New Zealanders and local, regional partners to submit abstracts to this meeting as well, so that they get an opportunity to present their work and also have that feedback. I remember when I was a trainee, in fact, I was a trainee, oh my God, I shouldn't really confess, to the first TTS meeting that was in Sydney. And I remember presenting my abstract there and people who I'd only read papers from coming and talking to me about my work. And I remember that to this day, how helpful and important that actually was. So I thought that for the younger people and as many people should put in as many abstracts as they possibly can. So I think they have that opportunity as well.
So can you talk a little bit about the beautiful venue, the area where the Congress is being held, and some of the things which you are looking forward to?
I just wanted to also, and I really should have started speaking about this a bit earlier, is one of the other really important things to the society, and it's remiss of me not to mention this earlier, is the relationship with the First Nations people of Australia and New Zealand, and the showcasing of their presence in this on this land for so many thousands, 80,000 years. And I'm really looking forward to the welcoming ceremony, which will highlight some of that relationship with the country and the seas of Australia. But also within the program, there's some sessions about the difficulties faced by First Nations peoples, both in Australia and New Zealand, but also worldwide. And in Canada, again, there's been some very strong work done in these areas. And I think in previous TTSs I've been to, the sessions by the First Nations groups and researchers have been, quite remarkable, both in their content and importance. So I wanted to very much, call out that will be an important part of this meeting, and I think something very special and unique to, and another great reason why having the meeting in Australia will be both significant for us locally to recognise the First Nations peoples in terms of the conference itself, but also for people to learn in their own environments some of the work we're doing here with First Nations and some of the issues that we still are yet to tackle. So I think that's an important piece of the whole story. And then Sydney. So Sydney, Sydney is so beautiful. It is so ideally located on the harbour. There's the bridge and the Opera House very close by. People will have the opportunities in the mornings before the conference starts to get up and walk along the foreshore. It's a very walkable and safe city to visit. You walk, run, jog, whatever, cycle, whatever you like. There's certainly paths that take you all the way around the gorgeous harbour. And I think that that's really important. We talked a little bit before about workforce sustainability, but also at a personal level, I think getting that balance right to get out and get a bit of exercise and sunshine and sort of natural beauty in the mornings before coming in for a day of science is what a great opportunity. I'm looking forward to it already.
As the host, how excited are you to have your colleagues from all over the world come and visit you in your own backyard?
Yeah, we're super proud of this opportunity, and we really hoping that Sydney, the weather in Sydney can be a little bit unpredictable at times. September's a great time to come, but it is often the most beautiful time of the year. So if Sydney's weather cooperates, we're super excited and very proud to be able to show off not just our geography, but all of the people in Australia and New Zealand that make transplantation so special here, and both at a science level, we're hoping as many clinicians from Australia and New Zealand come and take up the opportunity to learn from their overseas colleagues, but also for us to proudly put up on stage both our established and our young and emerging researchers, so that they also have the opportunity to showcase some of their works and where they're going with some of their great ideas.
Perhaps one last comment. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank locally?
The local organising committee has been fantastic. Steve Chadban has shepherded us all along with great skill, as he always does, and everyone has contributed to getting this meeting and the momentum for this meeting along. TTS have been great to work with. They've been very supportive, understanding of the time differences, and really just in the encouragement and support we've had from the TTS has been great, actually. So that's been very helpful. In terms of other local support, I know that the Organ and Tissue Authority are very keen to attend this meeting, and they are supporting a number of people, particularly from the donation side, the donor coordinators, to come to this meeting again. So I think donation is a very important part of this, and that collaboration between all sections of the transplant community, from donation through transplantation and long-term complications, is very valuable. And I would really like to thank some of our local partners, Tourism Australia and the ICC in Sydney in particular. The convention centre has been super easy to work with and very helpful and supportive of bringing this meeting to Australia. And the Business Event Sydney, again, have been so supportive and helpful, and recognise the opportunities that bringing all these world leaders in transplantation to Australia and to Sydney will have, both locally and hopefully in bringing Sydney to a wider world stage.